welcome to the studio. We're so glad that you could join us this month.
This is our 7th episode, and we are Color Me Happy Fiber Arts Studio. And on this show, we talk a little bit about what we're excited about, what's going on in our dye pots, some fiber adventures, and then our knitting or finished objects and what's in our project bags.
Right. And we hope to share our love of natural dyeing and a little bit about the science of that, and also our love of all things fiber. But of course, if there are things that you're really interested in that you would love for us to talk about, please just leave a mention in the comments, because we'd love to know what you're interested in hearing about too. There's one really, really special thing for us this month that's kind of a marker moment, I would say, for us at Color Me Happy. We're just having our 2-year yarniversary. And right from the very beginning, our dream was always to find local farmers that we could support and have local fiber dyed with natural dyes to really make a unique fiber experience for people to knit with something that comes from an animal that lives near them and is dyed in a natural dye studio that's near to them. And that is kind of challenging because so many farmers don't farm for fiber anymore. They farm for other things, but and especially where we are in Indiana, it's been a little hard to find farmers with enough fiber. But we are so excited that we have our very first offering of local fiber. So we started a new line within our naturally dyed yarn called Back Home Again. So Back Home Again in Indiana is a famous song. At least in Indiana, it's famous. I'm not sure how famous it is everywhere else, but it's sung every year since 1946 or something at the beginning of the Indy 500. Different singers over the years have sung it for many years. It was Jim Nabors. But it's a song that talks about being back home again in the comforts of home. And we thought that was a perfect name for this line of yarn. And so our very first offering is an alpaca and alpaca tencel blend from Flora, Indiana, Heritage Farms, run by Tim and Beth Sheets, who have a prize-winning herd of alpaca, many alpaca, 50 plus.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Alpaca, I believe. They also do farm stays and events. So if you're interested in a lovely farm stay experience, look at Heritage Farm Events, LLC, look them up. But we were so fortunate to be able to get natural alpaca and then a barber pole natural and brown alpaca from Tim and Beth and get that naturally dyed up for our very first offering of locally sourced Back Home Again yarns. So we have some examples. We're still doing some other colorways, but we have a rich gold colorway that we call Candlelight and Sycamore. The names for these are coming from the Back Home Again song, but the lyrics are pretty short, so we're not going to be able to do that for much longer. But that's Candlelight and Sycamore. And here we have New Mown Hay and Hayfield, sort of a really beautiful green, vibrant green. And we have this lovely one, which of course was the first one to sell out at Greencastle Fiber Festival. So we're dyeing it again. It's not quite dry yet. This is called Moonlight on the Wabash. And we have the barber pole version of that, which we are calling Dreaming because it's kind of moody and a little bit dark and dusky. So those are the 6 colors that we have so far of Back Home Again. We have some lovely peachy oranges drying downstairs. Those will be the very next ones that we introduce. And probably we have enough left to do some version of a purple colorway is sort of the last color we're thinking to round it out. But it's so exciting to support local farmers, to have local yarns that we can dye naturally, to sort of participate in the fiber shed, you know, having a local mill that's supported, local farmers that are supported, local dyers that are supported. So we're really excited to offer that to everybody this spring.
Yeah. And we had them, the visit in last month's show.
Yes.
So if this is your first month watching us,
that's right.
Then you can tune in last month and meet Tim and Beth and see their property and where we walk around a little bit with them. So
that's right. And the next farmers that are up in our local Yarn Back Home Again line, which is our good friend Ruth and her friend Allison, who together make up the Westfield Woolies. And so Westfield is a town just a few miles away from us, also still in Hamilton County, Indiana. And Allison and Ruth raise really amazing Cormo sheep, very fine next to skin, soft wool. And we are very excited that we will be getting some Cormo from them and having it spun. That's actually happening as we speak. So maybe next month we'll be able to show you that special new line of Cormo. But we got to do something almost as fun as doing the natural dyeing, which is we got to go and help them this year with their shearing. And so this was a really fun, amazing day, a long day. And for the shearer, I might say a back-breaking day.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
I think he was going to need some jacuzzi and physical therapy time afterwards because it's really a lot of work. But they and their friends, they actually allow their friends to bring in some of their sheep as well. So not all of them were Cormo sheep. You may see in the video some, and if you're a sheep person, you'll be like, well, that's not a Cormo. They did have some neighbors bring in their sheep also to be sheared on the same day. But got to experience that, the shearing, taking the fleece up and putting it up on a big table that is made, it's a framed sort of chicken wire so that we could skirt and take some of the really dirty wool, down by certain areas of the sheep off so that that doesn't get sent to the mill, sort of clean it up, put it in bags and weigh it. We had help from a lovely sheepdog, Finn, I believe was his name, who helped us get some of the sheep in from one of the trailers into the place where we were shearing. And it was just a lovely day of people working together, each one doing their own part and thinking about these amazing animals that for a whole year have been growing their fleece, to share with us so that then we can do some beautiful things with it. Yeah. So we'll have some video from that, and then very soon we'll actually have some wool to show you.
Yeah. Thinking about my real excitement is that we've been doing this for 2 years. So actually hitting our 2-year Yarniversary mark is really exciting, and we're going to celebrate that on Local Yarn Store Day with the Knitting Otter in Franklin, Indiana.
Right.
And they were our first yarn store pop-up, so it's kind of fun to go back for this celebration and be with them too.
And Christy and the Knitting Otter also started in the same year that we did.
That's right.
So it's great because, it's sometimes a challenge for a local yarn store, and unfortunately some are closing. So for Christy to have such a thriving, community-oriented business in Franklin, Indiana is really great, and we feel a special kinship with her.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah.
So by the time this is airing, that will be over though, but yeah, that's what I'm excited about today as we're packing up and getting ready.
You can still go visit the Knitting Otter even when it's not Local Yarn Store Day.
That's right. Well, okay, so there's 2 things, I guess. Next week is H&H Americas, and that is a big trade show for craft-related businesses, small businesses, and large businesses, I think, like quilters, yarn people. I think they have paper products as well. So we're going to go Well, you're going to be on service.
I will not be going. I will be working my other job.
Linda will be working. But Maddie from Rose Gold Yarns, she and I are going to drive up there. She's going to drive so I can knit. And that'll be fun to meet a lot of other people in the business. And then we're going to hit a few local yarn stores.
And you're doing some seminars or classes, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, they have classes there. They have networking events, classes, some lectures like current trends or things like that, and then more in-depth kind of classes too. So that's fun.
So next month you'll have to tell us
all about all of that. So that is next week. And in terms of the dye pot experiments and what I've been excited about, again, copper. We've been talking about this a lot. The last time we showed some tests on how much copper we would need and is it light fast, but we did those experiments with cochineal, which we already know is a light fast dye. So this time we're going to show some experiments we did with logwood, and logwood is a color that makes or a material that makes beautiful colors that can be purples, even into these blues, teals,
steely blues, and
just lots of beautiful colors. But it is less light fast on its own. So with the pre-mordant alum, it makes a beautiful purple, but it's not going to stay purple forever. So when we use copper, that should extend the light fastness of it. So I'll put in some experiments here. This exploration actually started a while back when I had some pomegranate and wanted to see what colors we might achieve with logwood. Okay, and the results of our pilot test. We have alum and pomegranate, and then copper and pomegranate. Beautiful. Results of the pilot test. Alum only, alum with pomegranate, copper with pomegranate. All of them have logwood. Because we love those colors so much, we did a more systematic test, varying the levels of copper and pomegranate to see what effect it would have on the light fastness of logwood. After we dye the yarn, we then put samples on cards like this and cover up half of the card and put them in the window for a month. Okay, these are the results of light fast testing. I put in the window over a month ago. Okay, and this has logwood on it, which we know is not light fast. So before being exposed to light, this is alum, pomegranate, and logwood. But the logwood almost totally disappears, and you're just left with the pomegranate colors. And then I did it again, but added copper and vinegar. And it stays a green color, but it's a little less green. Now here are the results where we had copper as a pre-mordant, and then we put on the pomegranate and logwood. These are much more light fast. you don't see that much difference between the covered side and the uncovered. Perfect. So I see, Linda, you have a big stack of finished objects.
Well,
And I have a small stack.
you know,
Not even a stack.
size does not matter, Michelle.
That's what they say.
Sometimes you have more finished objects than others. That is definitely true. We were very busy because we got our new alpaca back home again line. We were busily knitting to try to finish up some samples so that we could have them with us at the Greencastle Wool Show. So
Right.
that is something that we finished, and I used the candlelight and the sycamore colors to do this really lovely Ochoko cowl, it's called.
Yeah.
I think on Ravelry it's shown in one color, but I decided to use the more brown barber pole for the main part. And the gold really, it just reminded me so much of wheat.
Yeah.
So I really
love
liked
that.
this slip stitch that was kind of like a wheat pattern, and so I used the gold for that. And so that is, I wish you could feel it, it's just so drapey, it's so lightweight.
Yeah.
Alpaca is very, very warm and lightweight, very drapey. So that was one finished object, and then I had enough left over from my 2 skeins that I decided I wanted to try making a small scarf, kind of like the Sophie scarf that is so popular, that has the I-cord edges. But I also really like the Italian summer scarf, which has little rows of violets. So I just kind of decided to wing it and combine the two.
Oh, so you didn't follow one of the patterns?
I did not, because the Italian, if you do the Italian summer scarf, it gets wide. It's a little more like a shawlette. And I knew I didn't have enough to make it both wide and also long enough.
Yeah. I love that.
So I blended in, like I started with the brown, that's what this section is. And then I alternated the barber pole brown and the gold in this section. And I had more gold left because my other cowl just used the gold in the slip stitch. So the middle section is all gold. And then I went back to the alternating and then back to the brown at the ends. And it's really lightweight, so it's super comfy to wear around your neck, and you can just tie it up and it looks cute. And yeah, so that was really fast, very fast to get done. And I wanted to make sure that it was feasible because we had told some customers that with 2 skeins you could do both, and I wanted to make sure that that was true, and it is definitely true.
Okay, good.
Because at the time I was working on this and I felt like there was certainly going to be enough, and you can see that there is. It's even maybe a little bit longer than the Sophie scarf.
Yeah.
I have not measured it, but
Yeah. Well,
yes.
that's great.
So those are my back home again objects that are finished.
Okay.
Do you want to share an object or do you want me to keep going?
I could share an object
Okay.
because one of them is
Yes.
the
Oh, you
same.
should, right. Because
Yeah.
that was your
so
beautiful scarf that you did with back home
yeah.
again.
This
alpaca.
is the Pumila by Ayano Tanaka. And
It
this
is a beautiful pattern.
yeah, this is with what did we call it?
New Mown Hay.
New Mown Hay. That's
Mhm.
what I was thinking. Mown hay. It didn't sound right. In
You
my
have to
head.
like sing the lyric.
Yeah. New Mown hay. So this gave me fits a little bit, I have to say. I loved knitting with the alpaca, with the Surrey. It's just so silky and light.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Surrey itself can be kind of heavy if it's thick, but it's spun so lightly, and it's got a little tinsel in there.
Yeah, we should have said that it's a sport weight. It's a light sport weight.
Right. I think the mill even calls
The
it
mill
DK
calls it DK, but
because of the grist.
right.
But it knits up more like a
Yes,
sport
it
weight.
knits more like a sport weight. Exactly.
Yeah. So this was my first Japanese pattern that has a lot of charts in it, and I like charts, but this one had a chart for the middle, a chart for one side, and a chart for the other side, and they changed in different ways. And so keeping track of that.
Yeah, knowing which one goes to which.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And knowing that this side increases at a different rate. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So one chart increases at a different.
Like one chart increases every 4 and the other one increases every 7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keeping that, and then figuring out my little baubles.
It really has a very beautiful bauble pattern. I was reading that Pamila is a pine tree, a Japanese pine tree that's very ornamental and small. And so that's, I think, how it got its name. And it's very botanical looking.
Yeah.
So the New Mown Hay was a really good choice because it is really very vine looking.
Yeah, it is. And it was fun. There are little knots that you make, which are really cute and easy to do. And then the baubles. And in the past, I have not been a big bauble person. I always love how they look when other people do them. And I know that there are ways to make them more stable, but I have not been a very successful baubler in the past. And some of these are not so great, but they look cute from a distance.
I think they look cute close up.
Yeah.
I think you're being very hard on yourself. Like,
if you look at,
we'll put in a close-up picture so you can see the beautiful baubles because they're different. When I've usually done baubles, it's just a bauble, but this one had a leaning left bauble and a leaning right
bauble.
So that does sound like another level of
and
complexity.
a straight up and down bauble.
Okay.
And yeah, so
no upside down baubles.
No upside down baubles. Yeah, and there were times when I think I picked up an extra stitch on the side and then my stitch count got off. So I actually redid the beginning part of this probably 4 times. And I don't know if you remember, but you said, if you're having so much trouble with that, do you think we should have it as a sample?
I did ask that. So I'll ask you now on camera. Would you make it again? Would you encourage somebody to make it?
Yes. What I would suggest is give yourself time to get used to it. I would definitely do a swatch first.
With the different baubles just to see how
they
look.
And I did do a swatch and I thought I was ready, but I wasn't quite ready. So understanding where you're going to put those patches and the baubles and making sure that you understand how the chart is written. And there are some written out instructions as well. It's not just charts. I think that would be helpful. But I love how light and airy it is, and I love the little design
kind
that
of
it
the
makes.
vine.
Yeah.
It really, to me, looks like a beautiful vine.
Yeah. And my baubles are more in a row where hers are more like clusters. And part of that may be the blocking too. It is possible I did not do the baubles right because I sometimes don't pay close attention to the instructions and I think I know what I'm doing. But so part of it may be blocking. When you pull it to block it a little bit, they do scrunch up more.
They kind of.
Yeah. But I did not pull it apart so much with my pins.
I think it's really beautiful.
So, yeah, I do love it.
It's extremely springy and nature inspired.
Yes, it is. And I like that. And I, of course, love the moss green color.
Right.
New Mown Hay color.
New Mown Hay.
But
a favorite.
Yeah. I just think the spring greens are just my thing. Well, almost every color is my thing. Yeah. So is this
great? Oh,
and rewrapped okay?
Yep, it looks beautiful.
Yeah. And it's interesting how just having a little thing around your neck makes you feel
It makes you so much warmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a little.
Yes.
You wouldn't even. Yeah.
I totally agree.
I really
I like to
that
keep
feeling.
a little shawlette, like maybe one of our mini skein shawlettes, in my bag for work because sometimes at work it's really cold.
Yeah. And, you can just
and then you
out.
can just quickly put that on. So I really like having a little bit of something I can put around my neck if I want to.
Yeah. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go back to you?
Okay.
Your next finished object?
We'll go from the dainty shawl to the, as Stephen West says, shanklet.
Yeah.
I don't think this quite qualifies.
Oh, yeah, because it's a blanket and a shawl. Okay.
It's not quite as big as that, but it is big, and I am so happy to be finished with it, and I really do love it. And this is the Artis shawl.
Oh, my goodness.
Which,
that
I have
turned
it
out
upside down.
beautifully.
Okay. The Artis shawl, which is Natasha Hornsby. And it is a very big shawl. I will hide behind it.
Wow. Oh, I love it.
It was really, really a fun pattern to do. It was very clear. It was very well written. This section with the diamonds is all mosaic, so it's slipping stitches, and so that's not hard. And because they're these big geometric patterns, it's pretty easy to tell what you're doing and where you're going next. And then these little green and white bands are just one by one color work, so they're not very hard either to do. And then the brown is a waffle pattern, and
I love that texture with the stripes in between.
And when I saw this, now this was, I don't think the designer's intent, but this really reminded me of Navajo weaving, like woven baskets. And I actually found some pictures, so we'll put those up.
Okay.
Where these kinds of patterns were really used a lot in Navajo weaving, like in wedding baskets that they would make, or special ceremonial baskets. And I really loved that. And so I chose the color palette. I wanted to do all colors that came from trees.
Trees, yeah, I remember you.
So so the brown is walnut, and the green is logwood, and some hickory for the yellow. This brighter golden orange is Osage orange. And
Your
then
dad's.
from my dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the light green is also from a logwood and copper. And a little bit of hickory there. So it was really, really fun to dye all those skeins and to make this. I started it a while ago. It took me a little while to finish. I was working on it, I guess I started it in February, and it's almost May. And so, I would do some other things in between. And then the one thing that was really time consuming, it's a big shawl, so it needs a big finish. And so it has a 7-stitch I-cord bind off at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
And then also, to give it enough sort of elasticity and give, every 4th stitch that you bound off, you would do another 7-stitch I-cord without attaching it, so without binding off a stitch.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
So it just, it allows it to not, close in at the bottom. It allows it to kind of flow and have enough elasticity and enough drape.
Very clever, I like that.
So that was not a difficult technique, but I think you ended up with well over 400 stitches on the needles. So to do a 7-stitch I-cord bind off, that's
across 400 and some.
400 plus the algebra, 400 divided by 4 is about 100, so plus 100 more times that you had to do the 7-cord bind off, so 7-stitch bind off. So it was long, but it is not a dainty shawl to be draped around your neck in the spring. It is a very warm shawl to wear in the winter if it's cold, and to snuggle up with like this, or to put around your shoulders.
Put around your shoulders?
Yeah.
I'm imagining with your little tea and your cup of coffee or tea and your book or your knitting.
Right.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I just love that.
It was really fun to knit, and I tried to I really liked the designer's color scheme. So her colors are a little different, but if you look at her pattern, some similarities with what I chose to do. So that was really fun, and I would highly recommend this pattern. I don't think I would do it again for myself, just because I don't think I need 2 giant shawls like this.
Yeah.
But from the standpoint of the pattern, I would definitely make this pattern. This was done in our Pure Merino sport weight, 100% non-superwash wool, so it's really soft and lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very snuggly. I like that.
Okay. Do you want to go from the giant to the tiny?
The petite, yes. So I did have a finished object another one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not the bunny, but the finished object is the Bibbidi Bobble cardigan.
It's a bobble theme for you. You have been doing a lot of bobbles.
It is a bobble theme. And I just have to take this off. I don't think we showed this last month.
I don't think so either, because this is a new collaboration, another kind of new exciting partnership that we launched just this April.
Yeah, that's true. And this is with Nicole from Piccolo Stitchworks, and she designed this cute little sweater. She's also an accomplished sewist, and so she did our the welcome quilt in the front entryway that says "Color Me Happy." So she had done that, and she reached out to see if we wanted to collaborate on this kit with her. And so I'm looking over there because we have the kit.
Yes,
I'll show an
show.
actual
Right.
kit. Hopefully I don't knock into this.
So Nicole asked us to naturally dye several different colors that would fit a pattern that she developed that actually fits several different brands of dolls. And then she puts these beautiful kits together, hand sews the pattern, binding. They're just lovely.
Oh yeah, they are so cute. And she picked the colors with us. So we have a pine and violets. I think we called that violets. And this is pine, and this is rose petal. And they're just adorable. I love
little wooden buttons.
this. Yes.
There.
So the buttons, which you might notice I didn't.
You haven't quite done the buttons yet.
I didn't
That's
do the
okay.
buttons yet.
She even has little coordinating thread to sew the buttons on.
So she picked the threads
it's really
and made
lovely.
that herself. It's just adorable. So that was a fun thing. And we got these already for the Greencastle show.
Right. And she's also selling them online now. So we'll have them at our shows or at our shop, at our studio, if you want to come by. But Nicole's also selling them online if you're not close to us or you want to go online to Piccolo Stitchworks. She has,
and I'll put it down below.
She has those, and they fit. So these are Hazel Village dolls, which I did not know anything about because I don't have any grandchildren
yet. Well,
I mean,
you know,
none like soon that I know of.
That you know of. That's right.
But they are so cute. The Hazel Village dolls are like little woodland animals. They're just adorable. And so we, of course, got a sheep, Arthur, and Emma, the bunny, as our two little studio friends. But there's little foxes and bears and squirrels and a frog and just all kinds of really cute little ethically made cloth dolls. There are people also that you can get.
Here's Arthur.
Here's Arthur. He's got the purple sweater. He's rocking the purple sweater.
Yeah, he is. And we are not affiliates or anything.
Oh, no.
We just think they're really
We didn't even know anything about them until recently. But they do, this sweater does fit several other kinds of dolls, which I believe Nicole has on her website. If you're curious to know which other kinds of dolls it will fit, she will tell you on her website.
Yeah. So, those are my finished objects. A little baby sweater. And this. And most of the sweater I knit up during a baseball game, like a preseason, spring training game. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and your Pumila, you had to restart.
I had to redo it.
It was
multiple
complicated
times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're right.
Right. Well, I have one more finished object. And it goes along with our Lace Weight Knit Along, which we are starting this Sunday, April 28th.
Yep.
Very soon. If you are just hearing this and you want to join, and it's still early May, feel free to join. You'll find information on social media about how to do that. But we dyed up our lace weight merino silk. That's a new base for us. And so Sarah and I both wanted to knit samples. We had done a little poll on social media and asked people what they thought of lace weight knitting. And I think the options were love it, hate it, or intimidated by it. And by far the most common response was intimidated by it. So we thought, well, let's do a knit along. We picked several patterns that are just rectangular, so you don't have to worry about increasing and decreasing. And so I did one called Bengala. And I feel like maybe we did mention this last time. If so, this will be cut from this from this video.
Sure.
Because
I do remember you saying Bengala.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking I had to like look at it to know how to say it. But anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, then here it is. It's done. It has a really lovely little triple gather stitch.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the little beads.
Oh,
you
and I added little beads into the garter rows. And so that is another finished object, which I may have taken credit for twice. It's entirely possible.
Okay. Well,
if I did, that's a foul on me.
that is okay.
But I actually like that pattern so much that when I join the knit along, I believe I am going to knit it again. This will be our shop sample. This is one thing that's hard when you have, we don't really have a shop. We have a studio. People can come visit it. It's not open all the time.
Right.
But then we take things to shows. And so you have things that you kind of leave in our basket of samples, but then you have things that you might really want to have at home. At least I do, that I think, oh, I want to wear that.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky. I just have to walk across the yard.
That's right.
If I have something in
lucky.
the sample basket.
If I want something, I have to drive 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to make another one of these in a different color, perhaps in our silvery gray color. And I have other beads at home that are kind of almost like an iridescent bluish, like abalone kind of silvery blue gray. So I thought that might be fun to do this in a gray, which is not super colorful, but it'll be really versatile.
Right.
I wear gray scarves a lot, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it because I'm a person who is intimidated by lace. Well, lace weight yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually do. I think the last time I tried a lace shawl was with mohair. So mohair lace.
Oh,
And
that's maybe even trickier because it's fuzzy, so it's a little hard to tell
fuzzy,
what's what.
And it was 20 years ago, so I wasn't as confident, or I don't think I really knew what I was doing as well. And it was kind of a stressful time anyway.
Was it a pattern where you were doing increases and decreases?
Yeah.
Like making a leaf pattern or something?
Yeah.
Which are beautiful. Like I've done that on the edge of things, but it is frustrating. I have a shawl at home in my sad bag of projects that are not finished because it has sort of a lace detail at the bottom and I have gotten off somewhere and I feel like it would take a lot of effort to figure out where I got off and go back, and so it's just sitting there.
Yeah. And I don't mind pulling back now and unknitting or tinking back, but back in my early 30s, I guess, or late 20s, I didn't feel as good about doing that, and so often I wouldn't. And then with the mohair, trying to frog back mohair and save it was
that was not going to work.
Yeah. Although now I have heard that you can put it in the freezer before you. Yeah. If you make it cold, it's less likely to get that staticky cling together. I haven't done that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to try that sometime.
I'll leave that to you. I'm more of an alpaca person than mohair.
Right. Do you know what pattern you're going to do for the lace?
I might do the one that Sarah did.
Wisp. That was the name of that one.
Okay. I can't remember. I would like to put some beads near the bottom just because I love the feel of beads, and I think that would be fun. Yeah. And I have bought beads. So I think I have a few sets that might go with one of our colors. Nice. Yeah. Especially maybe the blue. I'm not sure. We'll see what we have left this weekend.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think I have any other
objects.
Not to brag.
Oh no, you have another one?
Well, I don't have it because I gave it away. I did another baby blanket.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What
It
was
has,
I doing?
it has been a busy month of knitting.
I was dying.
You were dying a lot of things.
I did.
You were traveling.
I was traveling. I did a lot of the flaxen dyeing, I think. Yeah, we had the wedding
Right.
to go to.
Right. But I did another tumbling triangles blanket. So.
That's true.
But that one went off to the baby shower. And so it's not here.
All right. So, project bags.
Project bags.
Yes.
You are knitting something as we speak.
I am. This is one of my works in progress. And let me get to the end of the row. I hate to stop. This is the Amren shawl.
How do you spell that?
Amren, I
Okay.
think. I'll put it down below. But it's a Hohi.
Oh, uh-huh.
This came out just a few weeks ago. And I thought it was so cute.
Mhm.
So this will block more.
Kind of a nice lace.
Yeah. And the lace has
Inset
the little
there.
paws.
Uh-huh. Yeah, or like little flowers almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I didn't show this last month, did I?
No.
Okay, because I'm remembering little paws,
Hmm.
but I think you did something in the past that had that lace pattern. This is the front.
I was trying some different lace patterns and there was one kind of like that.
That's right. You said it was
Yeah.
a flower and I was seeing
Uh-huh.
dog paws. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That is so cute.
That is really pretty. And which yarn is that? That's a fingering weight?
This is the Pure Merino fingering.
Fingering weight. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So that's
is it a
going to be
one skein
fun.
project or is it a two skein project?
It is a one skein project. This is how much I already
Mm-hmm.
have used. So it'll be a one skein project.
Nice.
And
And that looks
there's
like
like chunks of garter stitch
Mhm.
and then the lace.
Mhm.
And so this is great for Scrabble or travel or
Mhm.
things like that. But then when I get to the lace part, I have to pay attention.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Nice.
that
And what colorway
is
is
one of
that? In Pure Merino. Is that the Autumn Speckle?
Oh, that is the Autumn
I think
Speckle.
it's Autumn Speckle.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the yellow, which
Mhm.
would be our summer
Mhm.
sunset color.
Yeah,
So Autumn Speckle.
that's beautiful.
So that's fun. And hers has, Hohi's has like fringe.
Oh,
The
are you going to put
edges.
fringe on the edge?
I think I would like to.
Nice.
It'd be fun. So, yep. But this one, I could have had finished by now had I not redone this multiple times.
Right. But now you're, and this
That's
is
okay.
I
And
think
I'm
it's
not
relaxing to have patterns that are mostly like you're not having to think so much
as
about
much.
them.
Right. There's a little thinking part and then a relaxing part.
Mhm.
And a little thinking part and a relaxing part.
Right. I agree. I think that's fun.
So that's one. And then I have another one that I just started, which is silly for me to start because I am going to start a lace one on Sunday.
So then you have three things going at once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which, you know, is my life.
That's right. It's okay.
That's what I do.
I mean, that's probably normal for you, right? To have like three projects going at once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I would
sometimes
say
you
I'm
want
kind of a two project person. You're more of a three
a three.
or
Yeah.
more project person.
I feel like I have a bug crawling on me. Is there something over there?
I don't see anything.
Okay. All right. Hopefully not. Yeah, I think the three gives me more flexibility that if I'm in this mood or that mood.
Mhm.
And this is also fingering, but it's our like a high twist sock. And so it's much
Mhm.
smaller than the Pure Merino. So it
Mhm.
feels a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the Raina. So we had Megan
mhm.
do the sample
Mhm.
in DK weight, and the original was in fingering weight.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raina is by Nora. Oh, her name is different now. Nora Berland, I think.
Hmm.
I'll put it down below. But this was originally done in
This
2015.
is an old pattern that has been knit many, many times. It's a free pattern on
Oh,
Ravelry.
yeah.
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. And what's nice too, the pattern fits on one page.
That's always fun.
Yeah, so I can just tuck it in.
And I think originally it was like it was designed for like a variegated one skein of fingering weight.
Right.
But it looks
for
like
variegated.
you're going to do something different.
Well, yes. This is a set of mini skeins that last week when we were getting ready, or 2 weeks ago when we were getting ready for Greenwood, I was putting together different mini sets, and I put together these 5. Yeah. And I totally fell in love with them, and I couldn't box them up for other people. So I thought, I've got to make something with that.
That will be beautiful.
Yeah.
So
and the Reina has
bands of garter stitch and bands of lace, so you'll alternate colors.
So I was thinking I could alternate. So I'm not sure. Maybe the solid colors here
in the lace.
Well, no, I was thinking in the garter and then the lace. I don't know. But I thought it would be kind of fun to see what one of our mini sets would knit up like that.
Right. And to see do you need 5 minis or do you need 6?
It should still be 5.
It should work in 5.
But, you know, the beginning part is smaller. So that first section of this green, I'll probably do a little bit there and then maybe end with the green.
Right. I think that's a good idea. So it's not so blocky at the beginning.
Right.
Right.
So
yeah, I love those colors.
I love them too. And it's so funny. After I kept thinking about these colors and how am I going to use them? And why do I love them so much? Why am I drawn to this? And when we were getting ready to go to the Wool Festival, I had laid my purse on the table. It is almost the exact same color scheme.
Your purse is?
My purse. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's why I am drawn to these colors. I have already gotten something.
It's interesting because I think of purple as being your favorite color.
I know. I love purples.
And you do love purple. And you knit with a lot of purples.
Yeah. But I also love blues and greens together. Greens. And these variegations.
Yeah, I really love the blue, yellow, green variegation. That's one of my favorites also.
Yeah. Well, and like the Monet's Garden. Blue, yellow.
Right.
So, anyway, we'll see how much of that I can get done. But
and that's kind of a nice forgiving pattern too. Like you can pick it up, you can put it down. It's not hard to tell where you've left off.
Right. And she put these little row trackers that you can check off. I love those.
I love patterns that have those. Maddie of Rose Gold Yarns was the one that first did that on one of our patterns. And I was like, why don't we see this on every pattern? It's so handy.
It's so nice to just go, oh, I'm on the 4th row of this.
I love that.
Yeah. For the old-fashioned people who like to print out their patterns and write notes. I know some people keep track online or have those cute little stitch markers. Or counters.
I can never remember to click the counter and then I'm off. So
I know. I always am like, did I already click?
That's what I have trouble. Did I click? Did I not click?
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right. Well, what are you working on? What's in your project bag?
I decided to just pick something up pretty easy. Also, I was getting together last Sunday. We're kind of reinvigorating a group from my church called the Holy Hookers, who make things for charity. They try to keep, baby blankets and sort of chemo shawls and hats and things so that if anyone needs one, they can donate. And so we were meeting and I said, I have to have something that I can work on when I'm with the Holy Hookers. So I looked in my pattern library on Ravelry for something that would be like really a baby blanket size, but I was thinking of it like a chemo shawl, like just a relatively small blanket that somebody could use if they're going to the hospital and getting chemo. And I found this color gradient baby blanket, which I just loved.
Fun
and
colors.
It's really good for scraps too. So I had some nearly full skeins of our DK merino silk left over, and we had one skein in our bag of seconds that didn't quite get dyed as uniformly as we would like, and so I was able to pull those out and So it's mostly greens and purples and fading to kind of to gray.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. It's a 6-row pattern. And 2 of the rows are with the detail color, and the other 4 rows are with the background color. Super easy to memorize. You don't have to think about it at all. So I really like how it's turning out.
Yes, I like that too.
Yeah. So I'm working on that, but I probably won't try to like get it done right away, because I'd like to work on it when I'm with the group again. And so I do have another project I'm going to start with our flaxen yarn. I want to do another spring and summer tea shirt. So I'll be starting that this week.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what's in your project bag? That's how we like to end, because we like to know what you're working on, or what you'd like to be working on, or questions that you might have about our projects or our yarn or our dyeing. So thanks for watching this month, and please let us know your comments, let us know your questions, and we look forward to seeing you here next month again.
Sounds great. See you next month. Bye.
Bye.